This wasn't just another tournament, it was a test of legacy. The US Junior Amateur Qualifier is more than a junior event. It's where young reputations are either forged or forgotten. Among dozens of elite players, only a few would earn a coveted spot in Dallas this summer. And for Charlie Woods, the stakes were enormous. At just 16, he wasn't playing in the shadows, not when your father is arguably the greatest golfer of all time. Every swing carried the weight of his last name, with cameras clicking at each backswing and fans whispering at every missed fairway. Tiger Woods wasn't just watching, he was part of the pressure. This wasn't just golf, it was identity. Would Charlie rise like his father or falter under the weight at Eagle Trace? The silence wasn't apathy, it was anticipation. Charlie's swing was smooth, composed, and calm, but every tee box felt like a final exam. He wasn't playing for flash, he was playing for a number, the number that would punch his ticket to Dallas. His round wasn't the lowest, flashiest, or most dominant, but his quiet, calculated 1 under 71 became the story everyone was talking about. It wasn't spectacular, but it was fearless. On the back nine, where pressure separates boys from contenders, Charlie didn't fold. He didn't play to impress, he played to qualify. And in doing so, he showed that sometimes legacy isn't about chasing greatness, it's about surviving it. Charlie's birdie on the 14th was clinical, no fist pump, no celebration, just pure focus. That one birdie shifted the entire momentum of his round. Then came the stumble, a late bogey that could have derailed everything, but it didn't. He slipped, yet didn't flinch, and that's what made the difference. He didn't shy away from pressure, he walked right through it. As AmateurGolf.com put it, Charlie wasn't playing like a junior anymore. This wasn't raw talent, it was tournament IQ. Just a year ago at Oakland Hills, he missed the cut and faced brutal headlines, and even harsher criticism, but this time he returned smarter, calmer, and more composed. This wasn't redemption, it was evolution. He didn't need a miracle, just a margin. And that's exactly what his 1 under 71 gave him. Just enough to tie for 5th and force a playoff. In golf, it's not about dominance, it's about decisions. Charlie made every one count, the true show of strength. He didn't chase perfection, he played smart. And in doing so, he set the stage for a moment no one saw coming. With only 5 qualifying spots and 3 players tied at 5th. The message was clear. 1 playoff hole, 1 spot, no do. This wasn't just another hole, it was the hole. The pressure was thick, legacy hanging in the air. Most 16-year-olds would freeze. Charlie didn't. As the sun dipped over Coral Springs, the playoff began, not loud but tense. The kind of silence only reserved for greatness. Oscar played it safe. Matthew held steady. Then came Charlie, composed face, fearless swing. He didn't just make a shot, he made a statement, landing it clean and decisive. No theatrics, no mistakes, just ice in his veins. The crowd didn't roar, they froze, witnessing something rare. It wasn't dramatic, it was definitive. Charlie Woods had claimed the final qualifying spot for the US Junior Amateur Championship. That wasn't luck, it was poise under pressure. He didn't sneak in, he stormed the door open. Winners don't wait for permission, they take their moment. And in one swing, Charlie Woods stepped out from under his father's shadow. He wasn't just Tiger's son anymore. He was Charlie Woods. And just off the green, Tiger saw it all. The atmosphere at Eagle Trace didn't shift because of the golf, it shifted because of who was watching. On that day, Tiger Woods stood quietly behind the ropes, eyes fixed, arms folded, as his son played for everything. When Tiger shows up, it's never casually, it's historic. No entourage, no spotlight, just silent intensity. For any parent, watching a child compete brings pressure, but for Tiger it cuts both ways. He wasn't just watching a round of golf, he was watching his legacy take shape. And Charlie knew it, how could he not? Every shot was a silent message to the man who redefined the sport. This wasn't a father-son exhibition or a friendly scramble, this was real. This was Charlie's chance to qualify for the most elite junior event in the country. And yet, Tiger wasn't overbearing. As he said before, I'm supporting him in the background. I'm not that loud parent you hear over the rope, but his silence spoke volumes. After Charlie sank the playoff shot, Tiger gave a subtle, nod, barely noticeable, but deeply meaningful. No words, no celebration, just legacy, recognizing legacy. You have to wonder if that was the moment Tiger knew Charlie really had it. No fanfare followed, just a quiet walk back to the clubhouse, side by side. The son had made the cut. The father had witnessed a new chapter of history. And Charlie didn't just qualify, he ignited something. Between July 21st and 26th, he'll tee it up at Trinity Forest in Dallas for the 2025 US Junior Amateur Championship, the biggest junior stage there is. But this isn't just about a title anymore, it's about momentum. Just weeks earlier, Charlie stunned the junior golf world by winning the Team TaylorMade Invitational, his first major junior win. That wasn't a fluke, it was a warning shot. Now, the whispers are getting louder. Insiders aren't asking if Charlie Woods will break through, they're asking when. He's no longer just a name tucked onto the leaderboard. He's the headline, the story, the one to watch. The hype train isn't coming. it's already moving. And when Charlie steps onto those fast greens and rolling fairways at Trinity Forest, the world won't just be watching his swing, they'll be watching his poise, his presence, and maybe the beginning of something historic. The brash BAM show was waiting for fireworks, but what they found was something more telling: raw, unfiltered pressure. At just 16, Charlie Woods stood in a moment that should have been too big, a spotlight too bright, a legacy too heavy. But instead of shrinking under his last name, he began growing into it. He wasn't just another participant, he was the headline. Golf Digest dubbed it the most anticipated junior debut in recent memory. Crowds packed in, social media lit up, and inside the ropes stood a familiar silhouette: Tiger Woods, arms folded, hat pulled low, watching every swing in silence. When Tiger enters the ropes, the golf world watches, but Charlie wasn't leaning on that legacy. He had earned his place through grit, grinding through Florida qualifiers, handling the media spotlight with poise, and flashing a level of talent that had seasoned pros taking notice. This wasn't nepotism, it was momentum. Still, the stakes were enormous. NBC Sports described the opening tee as a pressure cooker disguised as a tee box, and Charlie's face said it all. Locked in, jaw set, shoulders tight, something was building. But it wasn't the swing that defined the day, it was what followed, because the storm wasn't in the sky. It was inside Charlie's round. What began with pedigree and promise quickly unraveled into one of the roughest outings of his career. An 11 over par 81 left him tied for 242nd out of 244. Not just a rough day, a near collapse. 4 double bogeys on the front 9 derailed his rhythm from the start. Wild drives landed in deep rough, approach shots overshot the green, and chips came up short. Every swing looked like a desperate search for control that never arrived. Golf Monthly didn't sugarcoat it, calling Charlie's chances an uphill task before day 2 even began. And when experts start writing you off mid-tournament, you know the fall is real. By the turn, it wasn't just about recovery or survival. By the time Charlie Woods reached a turn, he was already 8 over, his body language telling the story before the leaderboard did. YAHOO Sports captured the moment perfectly. A glance up at Tiger, then back down, no eye contact, no fist pumps, just a 16-year-old unraveling on the stage of his young life, while the game's greatest icon watched silently from just yards away. And yet, Charlie didn't quit. He kept grinding. A few birdie chances came and went. One putt finally dropped, but any spark of a comeback quickly fizzled. Another missed fairway. Another missed green. Another long walk, shoulders slumping lower. With every step, by the 18th, he looked less like a rising star and more like a kid simply trying to reach the clubhouse. The question shifted from can he win to can he survive this? According to data from NBC Sports and WFAA, Charlie didn't just have a rough day, he posted one of the statistically weakest rounds in the entire field. His driving, usually a strength, was completely off. He missed more fairways than he hit, putting himself in constant recovery mode. Scrambling, brutal. When he missed greens in regulation hand, he missed plenty, he rarely saved par. Every mistake compounded the next, and the putter offered no lifeline. Short putts slipped out. Long putts never threatened. Statistically, he was near the bottom in nearly every category. Fairways hit, greens in regulation, recovery rate, strokes gained putting. It wasn't a slip, it was a collapse, a round that never found its footing, a maze with no way out. By the time he walked off the 18th green, Charlie sat at 11 over 12 shots behind the projected cut for match play. In elite golf, your name doesn't buy you a second chance, your numbers speak louder than legacy, and Charlie's numbers told a hard, unforgiving truth. Day 2 was over. The final putt had dropped. The crowd faded. And for Charlie Woods, the long walk to the locker room was not just the end of a round, it was a reckoning. And the leaderboard didn't lie, Charlie Woods was out. His second round 74+3 was a clear improvement, but it wasn't enough. Not on this stage, not against this level of competition, and certainly not after the wreckage of round 1. His final score, +14. The match play cut, +2. A 12-shot canyon no amount of legacy, talent, or last name could bridge. In a tournament meant to showcase potential, Charlie's story became a cautionary tale. NBC Sports didn't sugarcoat it. This was one of the most high-profile exits of the week, not because he shot the worst score, but because he carried the heaviest expectations. The spotlight he played under wasn't earned, it was inherited. And when golf pushed back, it did so without mercy. The game doesn't care who your father is, it only listens to the numbers on your card. And Charlie's numbers told a hard truth. For double bogeys, dozens of missed fairways, and too many nervy putts. Scorecards don't whisper, they document, unflinching and final. And this one said what many were afraid to. Charlie Woods wasn't ready. But here's the twist, we've seen him bounce back before. From Coral Springs to clutch playoff moments, he's proven he can regroup. But this wasn't Coral Springs. This was bigger, sharper, louder, national TV, Tiger in the gallery. And when the pressure came, it didn't just test his game, it tested everything. The challenge now isn't just making the cut, it's making peace with failure. Because this moment doesn't end with a trophy or a teaching hug. It ends with questions. Is this the start of a breakthrough or a much-needed humbling for a teenager still learning that greatness doesn't follow a family schedule, even when your last name is Woods? His scorecard is complete, but the real test is just beginning. As the Texas sun beat down on Trinity Forest, the most intense pressure didn't come from the weather. It radiated from one silent figure behind the ropes. TigerWoods, hat low, arms folded, lips tight. The most dominant player in golf history said nothing while his son tried to salvage a round that was already gone. No words, no nods, no fist bumps. This wasn't the warm and encouraging father we'd seen at junior events. This was something colder, and you could feel it. From the gallery to the fairways, the silence was deafening. Tiger had always known when to offer a glance, a quiet word, but this time, nothing. The ESPN broadcast noticed. Yahoo Sports called it eerily quiet. And speculation swirled. Was this a lesson, a test of grit? Or was it something deeper? Disappointment, frustration, a moment too heavy for even Tiger to carry? Analysts on Golf Channel quietly asked, is this pressure starting to break both of them? Because this wasn't just a bad day at a junior tournament. This was the U.S. Junior Amateur Championship, and Tiger, more than anyone, understood the cost of fame, the cruelty of expectation, and the weight of a last name soaked in legacy. Sometimes, the loudest thing in golf isn't a roar or a swing, it's silence. And that silence, it said everything.